The Last of Us has a chance to become the first series with more remasters than actual installments. Good day, I am Mr. Moss, and there is a leak on X platform that Naughty Dog is working on a remaster of The Last of Us 2. Since this game is only 3 years old, in this material we will consider whether releasing a remastered version of the game can have any time constraints. At the end of the material, I've included a theory that might explain why Sony decided to do a remaster of its flagship game so quickly. Welcome! And if you like this material, please leave a thumbs up and follow. Thanks a lot. The Last of Us was released on June 19, 2020 and immediately impressed me with its graphics, pushing the limits of the PS4. The game was exclusively available on PS4 but also compatible with PS5. One could argue for the creation of a remaster to see this game on the new generation with improved quality. However, the problem arises when we look at the list of updates for The Last of Us 2. Less than a year later, a patch was released that improved the game on the PS5. It added both a 30 and 60 frames per second mode, supported higher resolution rendering, and reduced loading times. You could call this patch a remaster if only Naughty Dog had attached a price tag to it. Because that's what a remaster is, improving a work to make it more suitable for modern times. If we start overhauling all mechanics, graphics, and animations from scratch, then we get a remake. A new game telling an old story. It seems that Naughty Dog already released a remaster of this game in the form of a patch, and now they've decided they could make money from it. Personally, I believe that when it comes to creating a remaster or a remake, you should wait at least one hardware generation to ensure it brings any added value to the original product. Creating a remaster so quickly might indicate that the creator wasn't entirely satisfied with the final product, which is not a good sign. Imagine if Diablo 2 Resurrected had been released 9 years before Diablo 3. That's exactly how much time has passed since the release of the second part of The Last of Us. A lot could change in the game and many new features could be introduced. Especially now when technology has slowed down for a moment and we are getting games that compete in how many frames per second artificial intelligence can generate, rather than how much it will push the graphics we know. It's exciting that even Spider-Man will support Spider-Man 2 at 60 FPS. The future is now, old man. There's one trick that game developers use in such situations. It was the case with the GTA series, and it was also the case with the Uncharted series. I'm talking about collections. Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 were released on the PlayStation 3 in 2007, 2009, and 2011 respectively. 4 years after the last release, Naughty Dog decided to release Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection, which featured all 3 parts in a refreshed version on the PlayStation 4. But while it made sense there, the idea of a package with 2 remasters, one of which is relatively new, and the other everyone already has in their library, doesn't seem to sell well. If you're curious about what could be added in the remastered version of Spider-Man, let me explain. Besides the obvious improvements in graphical and audio assets, the game could also include haptic feedback, reduced loading times, more costumes and weapons, and perhaps even a combination of ray tracing with 60 frames per second, as Spider-Man 2 does. There are many possibilities, but they need to be justified by something more, because the desire to remaster a game wouldn't motivate as many people as are currently working on the remaster. I'm really curious about Sony's plan for their remaster, but we'll find that out in the future. In my opinion, it takes time for a game to gain official recognition so that it qualifies for a remaster. It's possible that Naughty Dog is simply preparing for the release of the PlayStation 5 Pro, because then Sony will have at least one game for the launch of the new console. After all, their current situation is quite problematic. On the other hand, it may not be about the console. Perhaps they want to expand their reach by releasing the game on computers, by releasing a remaster that will be available on both PS5 consoles and PCs. This would be a great promotion for the second season of The Last of Us series, which will likely appear on HBO Max along with the release of The Last of Us 2 remaster. Honestly, if the remaster allowed me to reverse roles with the golf club, those who played it know what I mean, I would even pay the full price to buy this game. Seriously, the direction this part took isn't so much bad writing as it is just not my cup of tea, like cheesecake with raisins, yuck. Thank you very much for your attention. Let me know what you think about the new Naughty Dog remaster and see you in the next material. Goodbye.